9 Laws of Success by Dr. Myles Munroe, the 9 PS. Do you wonder what sets successful people apart? There's no better education on the subject than from the late Bahamian motivationalist Dr. Myles Munroe. We all aspire to be successful, but few know what that means. Success is not a chase like most people tend to think. If it were true, then LeBron James should not have been one of the greatest basketball players of our times. Success is a result of obedience to some laws. Analogous to failure, success is determined by the rules that apply to it. In the case of LeBron James, he had to obey the laws of hard work, and success followed him. Whatever God has created to work is designed to work, including you. There's a condition, nonetheless, and it's called the law. By following God's laws, you can succeed. Individuals have also been known to compare themselves to others, and if they can beat them, they call that a win. However, that is not exactly true. Success is not a comparison of what you've done with what others have done. No. The true success is what you have achieved versus the success you could have achieved. So, success is the fulfillment of the original purpose. Your life is measured by what you've done compared to what God purposed. Now, can you call yourself a success? Have you fulfilled God's original purpose in your life? If not, then you should live by the 9 Laws of Success by Dr. Myles Munroe, which I will share. But before then, if you're new here, consider subscribing to this channel to continue receiving great videos like this. Here are Dr. Munroe's 9 Laws of Success, which I call the 9P Laws of Success, as they all begin with the letter P. 1. Law of Purpose. The greatest tragedy in life is not death, but life without a purpose. Only by finding your life's purpose can you succeed. Purpose is when you know and understand what you were born to accomplish. Birds, for example, were created to fly. Once they do, they fulfill their purposes. So, what were you born to accomplish? In order to provide an answer, one must discover what one's talent is, since one is predestined to make something special. Don't be a pigeon if you were born to be an eagle. That's not fulfilling your purpose. Successful people are those who reach the end of their mission. Success is not just existing. Success is making it to the end of why you were born. 2. Law of Perception. Knowing your purpose is not enough. You have to cultivate your perception. Simply put, you must see your purpose. The poorest man in the world is a man without a dream. But the most frustrated man in the world is the man with a dream that never becomes a reality. While purpose is knowing and understanding what you were born to accomplish, vision is when you see it in your mind and begin to imagine it. I think that the greatest gift that God ever gave man is not the gift of sight, but the gift of vision. If you do believe in your dream and your vision, then it will start attracting its own resources. Remember that you can do so much more than you are now thinking, imagining, acting, or existing. So, if your vision dies within you, you've failed. 3. Law of Potential. You must understand your potential. Your future is not ahead of you. It's trapped within you. When you realize that, you will understand your potential, which is of fundamental importance to achieving success. It is necessary to have more faith in what you can do than in the judgments of other people on your behalf. One of the most successful people now met its rebuke and judgment once in their life, and it didn't kill the dream. They believed in themselves and that being the ultimate success. Remember, God never requires anything that He does not provide. Whatever God tells us to do, He equips us to do. 4. Law of Passion. You must be passionate about your potential. Fall in love with what you can do so that you may become what you have always desired to be. Passion is the state in which your longing is more intense than your disillusions and opposition. Desire is craving enough to sacrifice for. You have to want success enough to make some sacrifices. It may mean going without luxuries to save up or invest, or sacrificing your time to learn a new skill or try a new trade. 5. Law of Principles. Everything in life is built on principles. Plants, seas, and birds are all nature's natural elements. They all follow and obey certain basic fundamental principles. God designed the world as a system of principles. It all works together. Principles are immutable laws inherent to the creation that support the creation's operation. You cannot, it seems, live by principles or laws that are created for success. Successful people have principles by which their passion and vision are guarded. Thus, you have to establish principles to mold your longing and experience. God expects us to live by principles, and that's why there is the Bible. The sacred book tells us what God wants from us. 6. Law of planning. You have to plan your strategy to become successful. What do you really want to do as a person? You must take a break, write it down, think it through, and then God says, I'll guide your steps. So, it's best if you start planning. Planning is the highest expression of faith in God. As it illustrates, being Christian means you hope in God to accomplish His will. Planning is the process of recording God's will in your life. You share a platform to operate in your life with God and make your vision a reality. 7. Law of people. You must protect yourself from the wrong people. People are dangerous. Don't judge your success by the masses and what they think of you. Judge yourself by what God told you to do. That means it's only God's opinion that matters. People will always have an outlook about you, but their views shouldn't define or dictate you. God says, "For I know the purposes I have for you, plans to give you hope and a future." Therefore, God's purpose is for you to have hope and a future, which is another word for success. Don't listen to what others think because they do not see what great and priceless ability lies within you. 8. Law of persistence. There will always be resistance around you. There will always be those who disagree with you or your vision. You have to learn to live with it as it is one of the involved steps. The most outstanding human beings needed to conquer many tests of resistance and trials and tribulations, but they moved on. They were committed to their purpose, vision, and principles. 9. Law of prayer. Lastly, you must have a spiritual reserve. You really have to go to the person who gave you number 1. You must petition the source of your purpose. Prayer means having a daily relationship with God, the source of success. Periods of prayer spent are not times wasted, but times of investment. Knowing that it becomes more feasible to devote longer periods to God. And the more you do, the more freely you tell Him what you want. God, being God, always answers prayers. Until next time, take care